So the forex market, as we know it, can be traded 24/7. But within this 24/7 are four different sessions, right? Four different sessions. And as we can see, the first session that we can talk about is the Sydney session, right? It's the Sydney session. Then we have the Tokyo session. Then we have the London session before we have the New York session, right? Now, London and New York are one of the most volatile sessions. Why? Because that is where majority of the news concerning the dollar comes out. London also, majority of the news concerning the pound, the euro comes out at that time, right? So it's quite volatile, right? And when you look at these times, you can see that London and New York, there is a time they merge, right? So which makes that time very volatile to trade, and a lot of pairs move during that time. But nonetheless, some pairs also move quite well during the Sydney and Tokyo sessions as well, right? Now, if you are in the Eastern session, if you are in the Eastern time zone, or you are in the GMT, you can see that the Sydney. So I am in the GMT, so I'm going to talk about the GMT, right? So for those in the GMT, you can see that Sydney opens when it's at 9 p.m., right, and closes at 6 a.m. You understand? For those in the Eastern as well, 4 p.m., 1 a.m. Now, Tokyo session opens for those who are in the GMT 11 p.m., 11 p.m., right, 11 p.m., and then closes at 8 a.m. So you can see that there will be an overlap here as well. You can see there will be an overlap. So from 12, right, from 12 a.m. to around 5 a.m., you can see that both the Sydney session and the Tokyo session will be in session together. They will be merging together, right? So at this time zone, Sydney stands for Sydney is for the Australia. Is for Australia, right? Tokyo is for Japan, right? So it only makes sense that forex pairs that has Sydney in them, that has Australia in them, and forex pairs that have Japanese yen in them are going to be very volatile. You understand? So we are going to look at a few pairs that has both Australia in them and also has Japanese in them. So now one key pair, which is the Australian Japanese yen, right? This is a merge of the two sessions. This is moves quite a lot because news concerning Sydney and also news concerning the Japan also comes within this time. So you can witness a lot of moves that happen during these time zones, right? Now let's look at a few pairs. So welcome to the charting area. You can clearly see that over here we are looking at the Japanese. We are looking at AUD USD, which is Australian dollar Japanese yen, right? Now we can see that this pair. Now we can clearly see. Look at this move that happened here. Look at this move that happened here. When we look at the time, you can see that this is in the 1 a.m. My time is UTC, which is GMT, right? So this is 1 a.m. and this closed at 5 a.m. You understand? This closed at 5 a.m. This closed at 1 a.m. This closed at 5 a.m. We are talking about a 4-hour chart here. So which means that from 1 a.m. to from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. this big move happened, right? This huge move happened. And if you have to check the number of pips, that is around 150 pips. You can see that is around 150 pips, right? 150 pips, right? 150 pips. If we are to take it from the high, let's say we are to take it from this point, that's almost 190 pips, right? So you can see this is one example. Let's check another example as well, right? This also closed during 1 a.m. right? This also closed during 1 a.m. So if you were to trade the Sydney session, you would have caught this whole move, which is let's check, which is 160 pips, right? 160 pips. You can see it consolidated all throughout the London and the New York session, then moved 160 pips. That's insane, right? That's insane. Now let's look at another pair. This is AUD JPY. Let's look at another pair, which will be the GBP JPY. So GBP JPY. GBP JPY. Now, for GBP JPY, we can see that's what we can clearly see. So we are now going to look for the Asian sessions, right? So we can see that this closed at 5 a.m. This closed at 9 a.m. right? So for this move for GBP JPY, this closed at 1 a.m. So for 1 a.m. to 5 a.m., you can see this move clearly happened. This move happened, which is 180 pips. Which is 180 pips. You understand? Which is 180 pips. You can see 180 pips. Solid 180 pips. Right? Solid 180 pips. Right? Solid 180 pips. Solid 180 pips. You understand? So let's check another one here. Let's check another one that happened. Let's check another one that happened. Right? This is another one that also happened from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Right? So if you were to trade these sessions, right? If you were to trade this session, you realize that you will catch quite a lot of moves. You understand? If you are to trade pairs which are JPY and AUD in it, you are going to catch a lot of moves. This move as well happened. Let's check. Let's check. Let's check. Let's check. This is 250 pips, right? 250 pips. Insane, right? Insane. 250 pips. That's insane, right? Let's check another pair. So already we've checked AUD JPY. We've checked GBP JPY. Now we are about to check one more or two more. It depends, right? So if you want me to do more, I want you to hit the like button if you want more videos like this, and also subscribe, right? Subscribe as well, right? So let's check another one. Which one do you want us to check? Type in the comment section. Which one do you want us to check? Which one do you want us to check? Right? So let's check AUD USD. Let's check AUD USD. Now for AUD USD, you know, during the Asian session, you will not get any news from the from the US, right? So during the Asian session, the only thing that will be relevant fundamentally for AUD USD is news coming from Australia, right? So you have only news. So if you can only focus on news from Australia, you can trade this pair. You understand? You can trade this pair. Unlike the other JPY pairs, you know, this moves quite a lot, but compared to the other JPY pairs, we can see that the JPY pairs move quite a lot than this, right? The JPY pairs, they move quite a lot than this. I'm trying to find an example here to show you, right? So this opened, right? So this opened, you can see this opened at 1 a.m. This closed at 1 a.m. and this also closed at 5 a.m. So if we can check how much it moved. A whooping 63 pips. You understand? A whooping 63 pips. So these are worth noting, right? These are worth noting, right? If you are supposed to trade, and most people do not actually trade the Asian session because usually people say it has low volatility and all that, but you can see it moves quite a lot. It moves quite a lot, right? Even though the movements are slow, it happens. You understand? It happens. It happens, right? Now let's check one last pair, then we end this video, right? So one last pair, then we end this video, right? This pair also moves quite a lot, right? This pair moves quite a lot, right? So NZD, which is what? JPY. NZD JPY. So NZD JPY, we can also see this one opened, closed at 1 a.m. This closed at 5 a.m. Now just look at this. Just look at this. Look at this beautiful red candle. Beautiful red candle of what? Almost 100 pips. Beautiful red candle of almost 100 pips. Right? You can clearly see almost 100 pips. Insane. Insane. Right? Insane. Insane. You understand? Insane. So if you are able to capture all these moves, there's another one that also happened. There's another one that also happened. On another 100 pips. You get it. So you can see the market consolidated throughout the London then and also the US session. But immediately, immediately the Asian session started. Look, just look, it just dropped 109 pips. Wow, that's insane. So I'll be doing more videos of this like this. So hit the like button if you're enjoying this educational content. Hit the like button and subscribe. There is more for you to come. Peace, right? So peace.